Hello and welcome everybody. It's Sunday evening and that means it's time for some Formula 2 action, and joining me as always is Alex Biddo. Alex, how are you doing this evening, my friend?
Hello, Unicorn. Hello, Chad. I'm doing good. And just waiting to see what these drivers can do here on Vietnam, Hanoi, a very tight track.
Yeah, indeed, a particularly tight track, one that we've seen all throughout the week in the MRL Formula 1 divisions, but obviously the community comes together at the end of the week. Sunday evening, it's Formula 2. We'll have to wait and see how these drivers tackle what has been a very challenging and a very diverse set of races over the past few days. I think we can say, Alex, we've seen a lot of highs, a lot of lows for a lot of drivers, and well, I'm sure we're going to see exactly the same here in F2 action. We've got 19 drivers already in the lobby. I wonder if we can get one more before we're set to go racing.
Yeah, very unexpected results here on F2. It's always a little bit, let's say, moved. Like probably the drivers with more pace, sometimes they cannot achieve the win they were waiting for. And probably other drivers doing the underdog strategy, like we saw Kolmanik on last week, if I'm not mistaken, it was on Future Race, taking that first place against Brainsteel. But yeah, very unexpected results sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw in Australia as well. I want to say it was possibly Eric who
Yeah,
was just kept his nose clean throughout the first couple of laps and then went on to win that race in the feature. And well, if that happens here in Vietnam, we've seen a lot of. It's so easy to scrape one of these walls. They're so close and imposing upon the drivers, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something similar happen here. Someone who didn't necessarily qualify all the way up the grid avoid some of the turn one, lap one incidents. We've seen it so many times. Everyone going into that first couple of turns, that long right-hander through turn two and through into turn three. Side by side there, it can go wrong, and well, it's an easy few positions for people to gain. You can hear the countdown timer going off in the background, and we are loading in to the one-shot qualifying session. So we need to get that up and running, so we don't miss any of the action here, because obviously the drivers, they only get one opportunity. We're going to have to just see one driver, whoever it puts us on board with, unless they obviously just shoot straight down the grid. And well, we'll see who the game chooses for that extra camera time.
yeah, we have a lot of fast drivers here. You can see on the tower, we have a lot of tier 1 drivers like Domi, Blotzel, Chenjay, Richie, and as well other drivers from the community that they showed they have a lot of pace, as well as tier 2 drivers. And so I really want to see who can claim that first position here that awards you 4 points for the championship.
Yeah, exactly. And well, I think now F2 pretty established as this community event at the end of the week. So it's obviously attracting the attention of the fast guys. They want to win as many MRL championships as possible. And well, you know a thing or two about winning F2, Alex. You did it last season, so you know exactly how they're gonna be thinking. Games put us on board with Moen right now, who's coming around the final corner, and he's being shuffled up and down the grid. As we'll have to have a look and see who is going to be put up at the top. It looks like out of the first corner, Domi and Ace Richie are fighting. Shenche as well. You were mentioning these tier 1 drivers. Called Manix up there as well, and Moen hits the wall, so it's not going to be P1 for him. We'll go on board with Domi, one of the event organisers for this community event, and he's just been overtaken by Scars on that timing tower, coming down into turn 6 and taking all of that inside curbing there as well.
Chenjay meanwhile as well, going to top 3. I think it was on the lower positions at the first roundabout. Now finding more time on this initial part of the second sector. Still Scars and Richie, the two high-tech on the first row. Let's see if Richie can put a bit of the, well, more speed on this last sector. As Tommy, I think is lagging. I think he's lagging back and he's losing positions.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened to him there. He didn't look... Oh, yeah, he's 100% lagging. So we'll hop on board with one of the high-techs. It is indeed Mr. Ace Ritchie. And see what he can do. See if he can overtake his teammate Scars. He was ahead through that first sector. And like you said, Shenjay and seems Scars as well found a bit of speed through Sector 2. But Shenjay's now dropping down as Blotel, Waltz Toast in the mix. Blotel's actually having a stellar final sector, it would seem. Really getting it. And there's Ritchie up into P1. This could be the fastest out. He's literally... The time difference between Scars and Ritchie is going to be absolutely nothing unless one of them watches this final corner. Ace Ritchie has not, and Scars doesn't appear to have done either. And look at the time difference. It's 2/10. That is it that separates these two drivers. Blotel picks up P3. Kulmanik picks up P4. Shenjay in P5, whilst Toast 6th. Maka in 7th. Backrow in 8th. And we'll have a look through the rest of them in just a moment. But that was pretty tight for the top.
I didn't expect this pole position for Scars, our tier 2 driver for Alfa Romeo, taking the first spot here. 4 points for him on the championship. So very good, super impressive stuff for him.
Yeah, so Scars, like you say, picks up 4 points, 2/10 ahead of his teammate Ritchie. Blotel in 3rd, Kulmanik, Shenjay, Welsh Toast, Maka, Backrow. Then we have 4-door sedan in 9th. Domi dropped to 10th due to those lag and connection issues, unfortunately. Dark in 11th, Matt in 12th. Eric in 13th, his fellow countryman just behind him. Beccaro in 14th. Venom in 15th. Moen in 16th. Squid in 17th. And, well, there was a DSQ as well at the bottom there.
Yeah, I think it was Tycho and Wavy not having the best luck on that first, on the one-shot quali. So they will be starting on the back row. Only one of those because it's only 19 drivers. So the last row won't be full.
Yeah, and I think Rutanius doing a bit of engineering in the chat saying that the Squid spun, so that would explain his slow qualifying lap. But we've got 13 seconds here until action gets underway. No formation laps, so again, we'll just be thrust straight into the action. And we'll see who gets the best start, whether one of these high-techs can remain in the lead or if someone else just behind them gets a good run. You can see Shenjay's car, I think it is, bouncing there in what looks like P5. But here we go, 4-5 red lights, and everyone's still loading in. But there we are away for the feature race here, and so far off the line, Blotel having an excellent start. Well, it might just be Ritchie having a bad start. Blotel is contesting for the lead around the outside of turn 1. Not going to find those Scars squeezing him. Kulmanik is finding his way up the inside of Ritchie. Now on the outside through turn 2. Can he hold it into turn 3? Ritchie up the inside. Blotel with a little bit of a lock-up. Holds on to P1. And, well, Fodor Sedan has been the start, but Kulmanik is straight into the wall.
And Ritchie as well. I think both tap on the exit of turn 4.
Well,
Ritchie a little bit of understeer as well. Psycho losing the rear for Sedan as well on the back of this grid. But yeah, it's still the Spaniard Blotel on first place. Welsh Toast overtaking back row. They are exchanging on the second roundabout. Welsh Toast with the outside line trying to get more exit speed. And his car's first.
Yeah, Domi as well now. He's getting past Welsh Toast, slipstreaming back row, and these three are just vying for position. Obviously, no DRS at this stage. Lap 1 of 16. A lot of laps here, a fairly long endeavour, but Domi in the middle. Who is going to attack him more? It's... Well, it looks like Welsh Toast up the inside through back row.
I think, sorry for interrupting, but it was a contact between Kulmanik and Matt. They were almost left wide, and there's a big spin. And it's Ritchie off. It's Ritchie off the session. He retired after a contact, as well as Tycho. I think there's a safety car.
Yeah, again,
here's the safety car.
There's glitch showing up, but Kulmanik involved in that. Moen, Wavy, I think. Eric was round as well. And that's a lot of cars into the wall. One retirement. And Psycho as well retired earlier, but only a VSC, Alex, not a full course safety car.
It was caught. It was at the exit of the hairpin as Blotel tries an overtake on Squid. Blotel just is P7. He was leading. Now it's Shenjay. I think probably there was a contact between the high tech of Scars and the Prema Racing of Lil Blotel.
Yeah, Squid having a little look back past Blotel, but not even going to try it. Way too risky to try ascend into turn 1. Welsh Toast, a big snap of just lack of traction through turns 2 and 3. So he loses the position to Blotel, who is 3 places down where he started. Let's have a look at these position changes. We've got Shenjay up 4 into first. Maka's up 5th right now. We were saying that anyone who keeps their nose clean as Scars and Domi exchange coming down into turn 6. Scars on the outside drops the place to Domi, and Domi on a charge up 7 places where he started. Scars already with a penalty as well. Back rows improved. Blotel and him both up and down 3 places. Whilst Toast actually held on, I think, as Moen and Becario, the BWT race lab, getting past, and I think Becario might be struggling a little bit there, as Kulmanik is going to come past as well.
Yeah, I think the Spaniard Becario with damage, as we have another exchange. I think there's 3Y on the hairpin. Was Blue Blotel overtaking back row, as well as an exchange between Welsh Toads and Squid. So he's the British man going to P7 on this BWT, and he keeps the position.
Oh, there's a big spin. Scars are spun, and, well, amazingly, Blotel no damage for just slamming into the side of him. And that is a full course safety car. And now, when we see anyone take advantage of this, hop into the pits maybe. Very, very unfortunate to see Scars out like that, but already, Wavy picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. I think that was Squid diving into the pit lane. He's going to get onto some mediums, I imagine, in the BWT race lab.
Yeah, I think he's committing to the 2-stop now, because he did this stop before the 3 laps have been completed. So that's the rule of F2. You cannot do a mandatory speed stop on the first 3 laps of the race. So I think he will be committing to the 2-stop. And yes, because he puts just the soft compound, so he'll do a soft, medium.
Yeah, his teammate Moen there getting double stacked behind him. Squid also looking like he served the penalty in the pit lane, so that will get taken off of his race time because he no longer has that penalty, having served it in the pit lane. And, well, that was a dramatic couple of opening laps. We've got 3 cars out. Both Scars and Ace Ritchie, who were so strong in qualifying now, lay DNF'd at the side of the track. They will not be happy with how that's gone. Obviously, Scars with 4 points to his name with qualifying, but that might be the only points he scores here this evening.
Yeah, as he will have to do a good comeback on the sprint race, because he will be starting 17, and the sprint race only awards points to the top 8 on race. So he will have to claim, well, to do the comeback from almost the back of the grid.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge, huge challenge, and in a race that's worth less points, only the top 8 score points. It's going to be a huge, huge amount of work to try and get those places. But right now, the leading car is Shenjay in the Uni Virtuoso car, and we have Maka, Domi, Backrow, Lil Blotel, whilst Toast, 4-door sedan, Squid, Becario, and Kulmanik rounds out the top 10. Then we have Dark, Moen, Wavy, Venom, Matt, and Eric. And, well, already everyone below 7th place has pitted, and let's get the lead. Squid, Becario, Kulmanik, they could be in a pretty powerful position, because obviously they do have to pit again, but a bit more flexible. Their tyres will be a little bit faster off of this restart.
Yeah, Unicorn, that's true, but I don't think that would be worth it, because of course they have to pit again, and they lost a lot of track position. I think Kulmanik was on the top 5, and he lost like 5 positions with that stop. So as I said, they will have to pit again. So I think Chenji and Domi have this on a straight way to get a podium easily.
Yeah, indeed, and safety car going around again. There's a lot of cars still yet to catch the safety car queue for quite some time. You can see there, Wavy and Matt actually exchanging positions somehow, and, well, the Carlin just entered Sector 3, so a huge time differentiation, even with the safety car out on track right now, so we might see it, unfortunately, go round again, depending on how lenient the stewards are going to be with how close these cars have to be. And, well, Eric's coming into the pits, and Matt as well will come into the pit lane.
Yeah, I think they're serving now their pit stop, so they will try to go to put the mediums now and go to the end. That's what I would do. I don't know if they will do that, yeah, Eric puts the mediums. So the pit stop was just after lap 3, so this count as a mandatory pit stop. So they will try to go to the end with those compounds.
Yeah, and that could really work out for them here because, well, with all of the drivers ahead of them still having to pit, this might be their saving grace. They're at the bottom of the grid anyway. This is possibly the best opportunity they've got to try and get themselves into those point scoring positions and see themselves up at the top of the weekend standings. But let's see if the safety car gets called in when it crosses the timing line. I'm a little bit skeptical.
I don't think so. That would be massive disappointment for the guys who are catching still. I think it will be one more lap of safety car, so they are lucky on that behavior.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like the safety car will be continuing to go around. So lap 6 is when we should see green flag racing resume. And fingers crossed, the likes of Matt, Eric, and Wavy, and to a lesser extent Venom as well, can catch the safety car grid. I'm sure Venom will have no problem doing it, but level 3 just a little bit further along as the leaders are going around this penultimate corner. To confirm, we are going again under safety car.
Colmanic pits. He will do the same strategy, I think, as the bottom 4, sorry, of the grid who are doing right now. So I think he will put on mediums and try to go to the end.
It's a very, very interesting strategy call for the Carlin car, and we'll have to see how it plays out for him, Alex. If there's, another bit of problem where we see a couple of cars off, it could work out for him. And like you said, this is his mandatory pit stop cleared. He's going to be, not last, but 14th. Unless, of course, he might actually get Wavy again with the pit exit here. A bit weird, but where does he come out? Does he come out in front of him? He does, just about. And there is the Carlin back into 13th place, but still a lot of positions lost. Is it going to be worth it? It's a bold strategy coming out of him, but it might work.
Yeah, I actually think they have a huge advantage doing that if they can keep the front wing clean and not being involved in a lot of incidents, because a pit stop here normally in Formula 1, sorry, it's like 18 seconds, 18 and a half, but I think here on F2 you can add at least 10 or 12 seconds, so almost 30 seconds I would say, so they can just even lose time on this back of the grid, but because the leaders will have to pit and waste all the 30 seconds I said.
Yeah, exactly. So, still, Eric, Matt, yet to catch the safety car cue, but fingers crossed it comes in because they are, or have been struggling to catch. I think Eric, there we go, we have got the safety car in this lap. And Eric might just be able to catch it quick enough. But Matt is going to really struggle to score some points here, given how far he is off of the back of the safety car. But let's hop up with the front.
I think he will be safe. I think now the leaders, like normally Chenji does this a lot. He was super slow on the safety car restart, so I think Matt will not have any problem to catch this queue. Let's see if the drivers can have problem on keeping the penalties clear on 0 seconds, because it's normal that they can have contact on these situations. I think Chenji is increasing the pace a little bit.
And I think he's gone, Alex. He's full throttle down, and well, here he goes, blasting his way through turns 20, 21, and now into 22. And that Univirtuoso car has gone, trying to break up the pack in these, last few corners. And it's worked out pretty well for him. There's already gaps starting to form. You can see a few drivers swimming out of slipstreams.
Oh, and Maka just stopped the rear of Chenji and spins on turn 1. He has to wait for everyone to pass and then rejoin the track. But yeah, it's the Prema Racing going down to the last spot of this grid as Webby takes 3 seconds of penalty because multiple warnings.
Yeah, Squid attacking 4-door sedan, the fresh softs on the BWT. His teammate has just overtaken Dark for P10. Is Squid going to try and lunge around the outside of turn 6? He is indeed. 4-door sedan very, very early on the brakes there. Maybe they're going to let Squid cross, maybe trying to utilize DRS, but it won't be there for him. So whether he's just sort of made the mistake there of trying to get DRS. It would have worked in a few laps' time, but right now, not exactly the strategy you can be employing. Kulmanik not too far behind them. He is sticking with Dark. Dark and Moen already exchanging positions on this restart. Blotel picks up third place from back row. And the S&P racing car are now defending around the outside. I don't think he's going to hold it. You can see back row there. Blotel with a nice exit out of 12 though. Might just have the inside line down into 13. And a little bit of lockup forces him deep. Here goes back row again.
Oh.
Almost gets way sideways into the wall. And I think the Trident's okay, but he's lost a lot of time to Blotel.
Yeah, it was super close on the wall on turn 15. Moen doing being the cork of the bottle, because I think like Kulmanik has a lot of pace compared with Moen. He's trying to go further ahead of this grid. And Chenji and Domi were super close as well as Blotel and Backrow were battling. They were almost side by side on that turn 13. But it's Domi, yes, taking the fastest lap. I think he has more pace than the American driver.
Yeah, still a fair chunk of time left in this race. We've just crossed onto lap 7 of 16. Blotel and Backrow again exchanging for P3. Backrow now in that final podium slot. Is he going to be able to hold it there as they come out through turns 3 and 4? Now down out of 5 towards 6. And is he going to have a look at the inside here? Blotel looking. Is he going to find it? He's not going to lunge. Sensible and patient move from the Spaniard. Looking at Eric. He, not being so patient, looks around the outside of the Uni Virtuoso. It's dark in Callum Ilot's car. And Eric is not going to find that position from him. So, still...
Oh, and come on, I think Squid Spawn. Yeah, Squid Spawn on the exit of the second roundabout on turn 9. It was Squid on the BWT going on the back of this grid. That's very bad luck for the British guy.
Yeah, and well, BWT Race Lab not ending their spell of bad luck. Moen is under a lot of pressure from Kulmanik, and well, Kulmanik doesn't need to pit again in this race. Takes P8 away from Moen. It's the Carlin ahead into P8, and his strategy paying off so far, Alex. He's kept that front wing clean, like we were saying, was also important for him. And if he keeps this up, it could be a lot of points for him.
Yeah, I think he can be on a win today, a back-to-back win on feature races as he won on Bahrain. So yeah, very good position. I think he's only like 10 seconds off the leader, and he doesn't need to pit.
Yeah, exactly, and we've got a lot of cars up ahead. Becario, or back row, could start battling Blotel. Becario a little bit further down on Welsh Toast than he'd probably like, so we might not see battling there, but Welsh Toast is on the back row as well. So if these three cars here, 3rd, 4th and 5th, can fight each other, Kulmanik takes another position. This time it's the Campos racing car down into turn 1 and 2. And he is on a real hard charge here on these mediums. And if the cars ahead start battling, get themselves slowed up before they come into the pit lane, Kulmanik could be on for a huge, and just brilliant finish. And like you said, back-to-back wins would be brilliant for him.
Yeah, I think the only enemy he has right now is his driving. Probably he can crash on a wall if he doesn't focus that much. And probably as well as safety car BSC as he almost loses the rear on turn 8 on the second roundabout. Kulmanik still keeping it clean on the exit. Good to see.
Here's Domi looking around the outside of Shenche. A little bit of contact between the two as they go down into the hairpin. A lockup from Shenche, but very deep from Domi means that the American is safe for now. And Domi hangs on to P2. Wavy and Matt, they go side by side to the roundabout, and it's Wavy into the wall. There's an end plate lost. Well, I don't actually think he had an end plate to lose there, Alex, but the car then holds on to P3 for the moment. Moment in between the two Carlins, he is getting ready. Becario spun. That's another position for Kulmanik. And yeah, we're not seeing a lot of consistency. Shenche's in, Blotel's into the pit lane, Domi's staying out, and this right here is make or break for Kulmanik, really. He needs to get ahead.
Yeah, Kulmanik will gain 2 places. He will be on P4, and he needs only to wait the leaders to pit again, like Domi, Backrow, and Welsh Toast. and he will have this clear. Let's see, because Blowtail is just exiting the pits. Sorry, it's the Universe of Chenjay, but I think it's Komani clear ahead of the yellow car.
Yeah, and Maka, it looks like, looking up the inside of Shenjay's teammate in the form of Dark, but he's not going to find that place. You can see Shenjay just ahead of them on the timing tire. He is coming out of the pit lane, but still the battle for P9 persists, and, well, Maka just glued to the gearbox of Dark here, and well, the red and black Univirtuosi. Moen and four-door sedan. Moen with a nice move up the inside into turn 6. Dark just leaves enough room.
Oh, and Kumbalik spawned! I don't believe it!
Oh,
He spawned!
And he
touched
Shenjay.
Shenjay! Oh, and he reversing into track and hit Saps.
No, yeah.
Little Blowtail. This is massive for the drivers. I think there's a BSC.
There's a VSC, and like you said, 3 drivers who looked on for a lot of points there. Blowtail, Kulmanik, and Shenjay have all just had a lot of damage applied to them. And, well, I'm on board right now, Alex, with Domi, and he will be rubbing his hands together in glee. This is just what he needed. I think he could pit right now for softs and take them to the end.
Yes, he can, as Blowtail and Shenjay did. I told you, Kulmanik had only a few enemies, and it was him. Oh, he doesn't pit, Domi.
Interesting
He doesn't
decision.
pit. He was still on BSC, but he decides it's not going to be long enough, the BSC, to cover his strategy or his pit stop. So I think he's going to go around again.
Well, back row's in, and obviously that makes a lot of sense for the Trident. His team, well, it's not his teammate, sorry. West Coast is in the Charouz Racing. Those 2 colours on the timing tire still pretty much identical, but West Coast in the Charouz Racing car in a strong PT now. We can see, look how busy that pit lane is right now. There is a lot of cars in there. Eric right now into P3. And, well, can his tyres stretch it to the distance? He pitted lap 3. Obviously, a couple laps after safety car will have preserved them. Alex, do you think these tyres, these mediums on this Campos Racing car can go to the end?
I actually think so. I think Eric is in a very good position. He had the BSC as well. I think 2 BSCs to to cool down the tires and probably prevent a little bit of tire wear. So we have Eric Quintero on the Campos Racing on P3. I think he's just following the strategy that Kulmanik did already, but he's still on the very solid points position place.
Yeah, indeed, and that incident has really shaken up the grid and split a lot of it up as well. You can see Domi is head and shoulders above the rest. He's 8.6 seconds ahead of Wells Toast, who's 8.6 seconds ahead of Eric, which means that there's, you know, a good 17 seconds to P3 for Domi, and, well, a pit stop is going to be very strong for him. Someone who's recovered quite well from this, Alex, is Little Blowtail. He's still in 4th, fresh softs, and he's missing an end plate, but I think that's damage that he could just, you know, nurse to the end. 6 laps to go here, and looking like a pretty strong position for him.
Definitely, I think the Spaniard is trying to go to the end as Domi, the leader, pit. Let's see if he doesn't speed. He's almost speeding. He was super close on that line. And yeah, he's going to the pits. Obviously, he will put the soft compound. And yeah, Blottle nursing the damage, still catching a little bit on the fellow Spaniard, Eric. So let's see if Blottle can keep it. He has a penalty, as well as Dark. I think he had a drive-through on the BST.
Yeah, like you said, Domi getting onto those softs. Where is he going to come out? You can see Welsh Toast behind him in the pit lane as well. Eric, he's going to come past. And I'm not sure if he's going to stay there. Little Blowtail. I don't think Domi's going to come out behind him. But well, it's going to be close. I think he might be put in straight between the pair of them. There's Blowtail. There's Domi. Domi firing out the pit lane. Actually crosses the white line to the left. I don't think that's going to give him an in-game penalty. Blowtail, on the other hand, does have an in-game penalty, and it looked like he was steaming straight for the wall there. Becario into the pit lane as well. And now we are in the closing stages of the race, the final 5 laps. And let's see.
Yeah, and Domi is more closer than I think everyone thought. I think Eric was expecting probably Domi to be just ahead of Backrow, or not that close to the rear of the Campus Racing. And yeah, Blottle trying as well to catch the DRS, he will have it, as well as the Hungarian on the first place. But let's see, because Blotto has a lot of straight line speed. Let's see if he wants to dive on the hairpin. I think Domi is covering a little bit on the middle, then drifts back. So racing line, Domi goes super wide, and Blotto will take the place on turn 11. It's Eric still holding P1 on those mediums. It's all mediums, so he will be suffering on this last stint. It's Blotto who takes second place, and right now it's a 1-2 for Spanish drivers.
Indeed, and Domi is all over the back of Blotel, but Blotel with damage, still firing on all cylinders, it would seem, and he is currently, like you said, in P2. Domi having a look up the inside, though, trying to find a way through in Sector 3, and he's found it. The damage on Blotel's car really costing him here, and Domi holding it, and might even be looking at the Campos as well. Eric under pressure now from Domi, and well, Blotel trying to get an exit out of the final corner to get past Domi. Everyone following everyone else for Slipstream. Let's hop on board with Blotel. The SMP racer car looking around the outside of Domi, but I don't think he's going to find it unless the traction, even with the damage, he's finding just everything out of this car. Domi actually stuck behind Eric, who's going slow. Blotel up the inside. Eric going super slowly on that outside line. Really cost Domi some time, and he cost him, well, he actually didn't cost him in position, but he's cost him the track to Blotel, who is now in lead of this race. Domi stays in P2 and Eric drops to the both of them.
Very interesting, but Domi was not using DRS. He wants to hold back, and he has a penalty because corner cutting. There's a Sector 3 yellow flag. It's Venom who spun on turn 14. But it's, yeah, Domi not using the DRS on the first straight available, but he will wait for the second straight. Right now, between turn 9, turn 10, and turn 11, on this back straight, it's the Hungarian just waiting for the moment, trying to spot just the perfect moment to clear the Spaniard on the Prema Racing, and he will do it on the inside here before the braking zone. Let's see if he drifts back, but it's still the Spanish driver on the exit, trying to have more traction, but yeah, the Hungarian just following the lead, and he will stay there on P1 at the moment.
Yeah, but has a little look at the inside, but not going to make that very risky move into the turn 13, and probably for the best, and Domi will be thanking him, and let's see if Domi can pull any sort of gap away from Blotel, who is struggling a little bit because of that damage, and there's a lot of cars down battling for P7. Shenjie overtook Moen not too long ago, and now Moen trying to find a way back past Shenjie, but it seems like all is going on behind them. Dark and Picario exchanging through the hairpin turn. It's Picario coming out on top ahead of the other Univirtuoso car.
Yeah, I think now Domi is just pulling away from the Spanish driver. He's just pulled almost a 2-second gap barrier between both, and I think he has this done already.
Yeah, he just needs to keep everything clean, and like I said, that gap is just growing and growing, and this is... Eric needs to stay as Picario and Dark with an excellent move on the inside. A beautiful lunge coming out of the Univirtuosi, and that is a well-executed move, and Picario slams into the outside wall coming through the final corner, and that is going to be an end plate and pretty much race over. It's very, very unlikely he will score points now.
Yeah, not even with a safety car, I think. I think if there's a safety car sparked on this lap, should be going to green flag this race on the beginning of lap 15, but yeah, still no safety car, and I don't think there will be any safety car.
Yeah, Kulmanek. Someone who spawned a VSC himself, now looking to get past four-door sedan for 9th place. Wavy and Matt exchanging through the opening corners, but here goes the Carling car up the inside through turn 10, and he's got that move done, and there's not a lot the Campos can do, and four-door sedan forced to just accept 10th place for the time being.
Yeah, still holding that 1 point. Well, the game awards to him for being on top 10 place, and as I think Wavy and Matt still exchanging.
Yeah, some of it off the track, so not quite sure what's going on between the pair of them, but Wavy almost spun it through the roundabout section of track. Manages to keep everything under control though, which is lovely to see, and now they're going side by side again It's this time it's Matt getting back past the... What is this? The
Oh, what
ART.
is that from Raby?
Very, very nice stuff. But I don't think he's found the traction, Alex, out of the corner.
Yeah, it will be Matt still on the inside. Let's see. Yeah, he clears and does the move.
Domi
still
spun.
trying to... Oh, I don't believe it.
He's just been overtaken by the lapped car of Squid, I believe. And he's got Eric behind him, but Domi did indeed spin, and now he's 4 seconds behind Blotel. I don't think there's damage on his car. And he's got DRS on the back marker as well, but 2 laps, 4 seconds. That seems insurmountable, Alex.
I think he can do it. He actually created a lot of gap between him and Blotel on the first laps after the overtake he did on the Spanish driver. So I think Domi can do it as well. He has more fresher soft tires. So probably we can see the Hungarian trying to gain the place as Squid spins on turn 14. He just touches the wall, well, severely. And I think he had a bunch of damage there.
Yeah, it's a lap for spinning, it would seem. Both ARTs, Wavy just did it as well. And Squid now joining the party too. But Domi, like you said, he is actually crushing this gap pretty well. And he's just got to make sure that when he makes that move, he doesn't rush it. He does have time to make it. He's got 2 laps to do it as of crossing that line. There is Blotel just ahead of him. And patience is the key. It seems like we are in the dying stages, and we are Squid retiring in the pit lane. Very unfortunate race for him. But Domi, he needs to catch, and then he just needs to bide his time. Once he's there, he just doesn't want to do anything too risky.
Yeah, I think that like the last time, he was waiting on this straight we are right now, the straight between turn 5 and turn 6. He was not opening DRS just to try to not overtake Lil Bloodle on that spot, just trying to do it on the hairpin after the back straight, the long back straight here in Vietnam. Lil Bloodle trying to carry as much speed as he can outside turn 9. So let's see, because it's just about the barrier of 1 second. I think Domi will not have the DRS now. Oh yes, he does.
Yeah, that is his saving grace right there. I don't think actually he will have the run down into turn 11 this time, but next time around, I'm sure we will be seeing Domi go for a lunge. He might even try it through turn. He spun again! The ART car has spun again, and now it seems like it's all over, because Eric's right there on the back of all of this. Back row as well. Eric and Domi side by side for P2. And now this podium is going to get a lot more interest. Eric super deep.
He cooks the turn.
Well, Eric now is going to lose out for being impatient. And now back row might be the one who sees himself hopping up into the podium. And maybe even a P2. Domi's tyres, it depends what their temperature are like. Those rears could be really overheated after 2 spins.
Yeah, definitely. And Wellsto's gaining as well a lot of time. Eric Quintero with 12 laps of mediums, where Wellsto's meanwhile with 4 laps only, so he will have a lot of grip to... Oh, backroad disqualified!
Failing to use required compound. He didn't pit for another set of tyres. He's only used mediums.
I don't believe it.
That is not something that we see every day, but he's forgotten to use the other compound of tyres.
That's, I think, a mistake. Here I'm watching the race director, and he was on softs, and then he changed to mediums on lap 10. I think this has to be a mistake of the game, because he was doing the soft mediums easily, and now he got disqualified.
Yeah, very weird actually. I've just looked at the race director myself.
He pitted under BSC, so you cannot pit on BSC and do the mandatory pit stop there. So probably that was the thing. He pitted under BSC. That's why probably Domi didn't want to pit on the BSC.
Domi has absolutely, well, I was about to say nailed this race. He's nailed the strategy, not necessarily the racecraft, as Welsh Toast. He overtakes Eric and he will be on the podium. But yeah, the VSC has caught out back row there. Domi not letting himself get caught out. Obviously the F2 rules here a little bit different, so everyone a little bit of confusion. Alex clearing that up in chat as to what the rules are, but well, you gotta hand it to Blotel. It's been a very good race for someone with damage, He got caught up in an unfair incident. Wasn't his fault at all, but yellow flags would have been waved. But he still manages to claw home the victory. There's penalties though. And, well, Domi, he needs to be within 2 seconds. I don't think he's quite going to be close enough. It's going to be 0.8 of a second behind Blotel. Welsh toast. He finds himself in P3. Eric crosses in 4th. There's still battling going on. Maka and Shenjay. Shenjay going for a last-minute lunge through the penultimate corner. Univirtuosi not finding the gap on the Prema car. And, well, that's Maka P5. Shenjay P6. Kulmanik, after what looked like could have been a winning strategy, limping his car home. It looks like it's got a lot of damage on it. Dark and Moen, they've been exchanging as well. The other Univirtuosi car. Moen dancing all over the rear, both with a intact front ring. They'll be happy about that one. But it's P8 and P9, but Moen doesn't have a penalty. Dark does, and that could be all of it. Dark getting silenced as well.
Yeah, talking about the overtake or trying to overtake Chenjay Maka, I think Chenjay went for the gap. I think he was too aggressive, and he knew about the overtake not being the clean as possible, and he just yielded on the exit of turn 22 and just left Maka to take that 5th spot, as we have the top 10 already decided.
Yeah, Venom actually just gained a place on Matt because Matt spun just through turn 13, so a little bit unfortunate for him, but Venom won't mind that he's picked up P12. But, well, we got Moen starting on pole in the next race, and we'll have to see how he handles that. Got that P8 on those penalties, and, well, Lil Blotel, strong race here, strong start. Domi as well. Got a few drivers who seem to have nailed this track, a few drivers who struggling as well. Even Domi in P2. Saw a couple of spins out of him, but he had the pace to just recover from it. But if he has a flawless race and can rectify that decision, or those mistakes, I should say, in that first race, he could be a very, very strong candidate in this next race.
Yeah, Blotel with a 5-second penalty. I don't know where he picked that. But yeah, even with that, I thought it was a 3-second penalty, so I was not aware of that possible change of leader. So probably one more lap, and Domi would have been able to overtake the Blotel.
Indeed, but there it is. The Spanish driver up on top spot of the podium. Domi in P2. And actually, with all the exchange that was going on, I cannot remember who that is in P3. We'll have to wait and see.
It's Welsh toast. It's Welsh toast after overtaking Eric, I think, on the last lap. And he claims the 3rd place of the podium, being clear of penalties, so as well taking profit of that. I think he actually took the podium on track, so very well done from him.
Yeah, Eric, of course, getting driver of the day, 13th to 4th strong driver in. Domi as well, huge positions gain. Maka in P5, but, well, that's all we got for the standings. We've got to go to the sprint race, and again, no formation lap. So, Alex, why don't you take us through this race start, which is about to hop on here.
Yeah, very, very short time of screen there to see the results. But I think will be Moen followed by Kulmanik. 3rd place will be for Chenjay on this start. I think after that we have one more driver. I don't know who was on top 5. I think it was Maka. Yeah, Maka. Then it will be Welsh Toast, Eric, Domi and Blotel for the top 8, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have to see, because this race is about to start right now, Unicorn.
Yeah, 18 seconds on the clock, and Becario just left the lobbies. I think it's because he can get in here, but, back row saying the VSC ended while he was in the pit entrance, so maybe an unjust penalty. A little bit tricky there, but we'll have to wait and see as the race gets underway.
Yeah, as 5 lights are on the sequence, let's see what these drivers can do. And there's a jump start, I think. I'm not sure, but it's a good start from Moen as well. Followed for Kulmanik. Chenjay trying to go on the outside. Eric's just having a massive start. He's just on P4. He's just trying to dive into turn 1. It's Kulmanik and Chenjay closing the door. Chenjay on the inside. He has a mid spin on the inside of turn 2. There's a lot of Chenjays on the back of this field. I think Wavy overtaking Psycho as well as Matt dropping Squid as well, exchanging position on the BWT. There's a big battle for top 5 right now. Is Lil Blood is trying to find the space to dive into turn 6 on the fellow Spaniard Eric. Let's see if he can keep it clean. Still waiting for the free space there on the inside of the now on the outside of the second roundabout. It's Cool Manic almost spinning and touching the side pod of the American driver Chenjay, so it's Cool Manic dropping to 3rd place. Dom is super close. He had to actually lift, and Eric will take 4th place just before the BSC comes here, Unicorn.
Yeah, not sure if anyone's going to get told to hand back positions because there are a few overtakes going on, and oh my goodness, a lot of carnage on. I think that VSC might have been called out. I'm not sure if it was called out for Venom or for what happened to Blotel. Blotel went side by side through turn 7, 8, and then gets caught in 9. We saw it in tier 1 earlier this week between, I believe, Brownie and Fraser, I want to say. And the same incident has pretty much happened there. No spin, but you could just see the damage on Blotel's front wing. And again, it's a lot worse than it was last time, so he won't be able to nurse that one home. But here we go. We have gone back to green flag racing, and Eric currently sat in 4th place. He's under pressure, but he's trying to put Cormanic under a bit of pressure too. But it's going to be Domi squeezing up the inside, coming through turns 21 around the outside of 22. Can the ART find his pace through here? Richie in the high-tech is looking on at this as well, and he might find the inside, not getting the run. You can see him just drifting the car around that final turn, but he might still get the run for P5. Well, Toast is on the back of this as well. Here goes Richie looking up the inside, but now he's got the outside line. Can he hold the pace? There's Eric on the outside. This is exactly what happened to Domi last race, but it's Domi this time picking up P4 as a result. Richie, though, following through, trying to find the inside through 5, and he does, and well, that's a well-executed move from the pair of them. Eric really not having the lap of his life, and now Welch Toast is going to find his way past the Campos Racing car too, and Richie is up 12 places, Alex, as he has a big slide, actually.
Very good job from the Dodge driver, as he has a penalty of 3 seconds. Squid spun on the exit of the first roundabout. I think there's another spin.
It's Moen, his teammate.
It's Moen. Both BWT, and there's a safety car. I think this will be massive for Lil Blottle, who had a lot of damage. So both BWT spinning, one on the first roundabout and the other teammate on the second roundabout. They will be almost last, if not last, on this GP.
Yeah, well, very, very unfortunate for them. Chenjay. And what's going on here? There's a lot of positional swaps going on for the front runners. Chenjay going on a little bit deep there. But yeah, very, very... Again, we've got an early safety car here at Vietnam. It's not too surprising. It's a very easy track to drag one out on if a couple of drivers just have a little bit of laps of concentration. We've already done one race here. There's only 11 laps here. And you can see there how far back Venom is in that Dan's car, and this could lead us to see exactly what we saw last time, where the safety car stays out. We've got to remember, though, no mandatory pit stops in this race, so Blotel now hopping into the pit lane just to get a new front wing. Obviously a tyre change as well, but it's going to have to be mediums, surely, Alex, to get to...
Yeah, it has to be mediums. Probably it will be worn mediums. Probably he will be using some mediums of the first race, as Domi was losing traction under safety car on first turn. He was sliding a lot, and Richie got a penalty because that he, I think, touched the gearbox, the part of the ARC car from ahead. So Richie, I think, now has 8 seconds of penalties.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate for him, but he's made a lot of positions, so it might be a price that he's willing to pay in an attempt to try and get just a few points, because in such a short span of time it's going to be difficult for him to get that kind of a gap to P8. And the safety car pretty much guaranteed to go around another lap, just judging on where people like Moen, Ford or Sedan. And who is that? It's Domi! He's spun under safety car! That is not what you want to be doing. We saw him spin in the feature race. Now he's spinning under safety car in the sprint race, and I don't know what he's got with that setup, but it is not working out for him here. And, well, he is not going to be happy with how this race or these races have gone for him.
Definitely not. He's not going to be too thrilled about this. He would throw away the first win as well, and he's doing it again right now. He was battling with Colmanic and Chenji for that first spot, and now he's just outside the points. As Chenji and Richie has an exchange between on their safety car. I don't know what Richie is trying to do. He's actually overtaking the American, now yielding for both drivers. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, the safety car seems to be having some sort of issue here with letting people by, and well, the drivers are advised to just not overtake, and Richie runs into the back of Colmanic. So now, adding to his penalty situation, he's got some front wing damage, and he's not going to be happy about that. I think he tried to go to the pit lane there, but oh my goodness, Richie pins not only himself into Colmanic, but he gets Welsh Toast caught up in that as well. And oh, I think both are going to try and find their way to the pit lane. They are. Welsh Toast resetting to track to find the pit lane, but that is super, super unfortunate. The safety car, not a lot of safe driving necessarily under it. A lot of problems, spins, and well, not what you want to be seeing from a safety car. But
yeah, not what you want to see from a tier 1 driver. I think that was just, I don't know what happened. I think it was probably a misunderstanding between both drivers. Richie trying to find the pits, then he touched the side pod of Colmanic, and then he spun and pins the Welsh Toast. So very avoidable to do this. But yeah, he will change these tires. He will go into subs as well as Blotzel did on last lap. Psycho as well doing the same. I don't know if those subs will go to the end.
Yeah, I think we saw a few drivers take 6 laps in the feature race, maybe 8. So I think they should just be able to squeeze them to the end of this race, get themselves to the checkered flag. What the pace will be like at the end, though, that's where the trouble is going to lie for these guys. So have to wait and see. Now it's Chenji in lead of this race. Colmanic with a penalty. Let's have a look at the penalty situation. There's a few drivers with them. Colmanic has a 5-second penalty. Becario 5 seconds. Richie 8. And Venom 5 as well. So only a few drivers with penalties, but those drivers with penalties have pretty large ones, to say the least. Especially for only 4 laps and 2 laps of green flag racing.
Yeah, I think Colmanic had the penalty because the contact with Richie there. Probably Becario. Richie as well had a penalty of 5 seconds, and Venom as well. I think those are from contact on their safety car. And safety car will be 1 more lap, I think, Unicorn.
Yeah, Matt leaving the session. He has already retired from this race, so a little bit unfortunate. But like you said, I think the safety car is going to be going around once more here. And that means, again, a bit more tyre management for those guys on the soft tyres. So it should be able to go a little bit further. And those soft tyres should make it to the end, provided that they're not, being too hard on them. Squid diving into the pit lane. What is the BWT going for?
I think we'll go to mediums. As well as Becario pitting. He was on mediums already, probably trying to fit another compound. Let's see, because they will have to be aggressive on this stint to gain the positions they lost now. So I think it's mediums for Squid.
Yeah, mediums for Squid. Becario getting a front wing change and
softs, I think. Yeah. So yeah, he will try to go. Every driver here will try to go to the end on the stint, the compound they are on. So let's see if they can make it. The soft runners like Bloodseller, Psycho, Richie, and now Becario as well as Welsh Toast, 4-door sedan. Probably will have a little bit complicated to go to the end. Probably just nursing the tires a little bit now to try to not be on that puncture territory by the end.
Exactly, and we're only on lap 5. We're going to have what will be 5 laps of, 6 laps actually, of green flag racing when this safety car comes in. Fingers crossed it does so at the end of this lap. We do still have Moen and 4-door sedan at the back there. Apparently Wavy and Dark exchanging positions. Maybe Wavy had an issue. He's a little bit far back off of the Uni Virtuosi car. But fingers crossed it comes in at the end of this one. And Shenjie, we saw him restart in the feature race. We're going to see him restart this race here in the sprint.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. He only had, well, he didn't have any mistakes on the future race. He was only caught on the spin of Cool Manic, 5-second penalty for Squid after collision under safety car with Welsh Toast, and Shenji is slowing down already. I think the safety car is on this lap, yeah.
Yeah, safety car in this lap, and Shenji really slowing down the pace here. 5-second penalties coming through thick and fast. The drivers need to be just a little bit more careful, give the other drivers a bit of space. Back row, Eric getting very, very eager, trying to find a way past Cool Manic, but Shenji has not throttled down yet, and Eric can see this, and he's just trying to force his way past Cool Manic here.
Oh, this is super close. I don't think this has to be legal. He has to be just on the rear of the Carlin car. He has to be more patient on this. Well, on the relaunch of the safety car, because the safety car is already in. Let's see when Shenji decides to put the throttle down as he loses the relay, has a big stang slapper on turn 22, and I think it's green flag when the leader will cross the line in these moments right now, Unicorn.
Yeah, Shenji a little bit eager with the throttle there, just seems to hammer it straight down and almost lose the rear end like you said, but gets it pinned, gets himself away, and he's still in lead of this race, and he's got a pretty nice gap. Domi and Wavy, the two teammates exchanging positions. Wavy really struggling, gets a snap out of the rear and gets tapped by Psycho. That's into the wall for him. And that is not going to be how his restart wanted to go. His teammate Domi, though, still charging. He gets past Dark, sliding along the curb as well.
And now Scars, sorry for interrupting, Scars on the outside, just changing the direction on the behind the Prema racing car of Maka. He will try to go to the outside, and he did it clear. He just passed by the Prema driver, as I think Bakaro. Yeah, Psycho as well.
A lot of positional changes. Psycho and Blotel went side by side, and now Blotel again on a hard charge. He's trying to get his past Dark, and I think Dark's had an issue. Dark leaving the session, just teleports to in front of Blotel, and that's almost cost the Spanish driver a car as he nearly gets sent into the wall. Back row and Domi now exchanging down into the hairpin, and back row I think just tapped the rear of the Prima car of Maka, and that's almost a slide and a spin into the wall, but manages to hold it, but that leaves him a second behind Domi now.
Yeah, as Richard was trying to do the move on the hairpin, he did it on the AI car of Dark, then he tried to do on Bloodshield's car as well on turn 11. Dark just joining the session after a disconnection. Let's see, because Shenji is just opening a big gap for first place here.
Yeah, Shenji looking very strong on this restart. Remember, Cool Manic has that 5-second penalty as well. So Shenji, not really a lot of people to contest him right now. He just needs to keep it clean. He sets the fastest lap as well. And it's all going his way so far in the sprint race. We've got another yellow flag. It's Welsh Toast down at the back there. You can see his car is stationary in that final sector. He's got it moving again now, though.
Yeah, there's an exchange. Richie on the inside of Lil Blotel on first turn. Is the Dutch overtaking the Spanish driver. Let's see if Blotel has more on his veins to try to do the comeback on the high-tech driver. But I think right now he will stay behind the silver car.
And he's going to look up the inside, but he's not going to find it. Would have been very late on the brakes, would have been a very deep lunge. You can see ahead though, Domi trying to get a move on Scars, but Scars... Oh, that's not gone well for either of them. And well, this battle was close coming into this turn 6, 7, 8, 9 section of track, but it hasn't ended well for either of them. And now, who's going to come out on top? I don't think any damage, miraculously, on Scars' car. Now as they both steam down towards turn 11, this infamous hairpin. Scars later on the brakes around the outside. Domi now a little bit less heavy on the brakes. Manages to sort of worm his way back. Just seems to gain some speed in the apex, but manages to keep himself there. And now they're going side by side into 13. Blotel as well is getting pretty close to his rival. Scars though still in P5, back on board with the Spaniard. And you can see this. There's a huge train down here for what will be the bottom points finishes, only the top 8 scoring points here in the sprint race. And, well, Blotel looking around the outside. That's turn 20. Richie getting a little bit sideways on the curve, lock up, and Blowtail can have a look around the outside. Richie's really trying to push right now. Bakaro, Maka in their way. You can see Richie dying to get past. DRS is now enabled. Richie steaming out of the final corner. Much better traction. Those tyres really giving him the benefit. 3-lap old Sauce versus 7-lap old Medians. He's looking at the inside back row a little later on the brakes. But Richie finds a way past the Blowtail. Is going to try to fly away past 2. The SMP racing car around the outside through turns 2 and 3. And that is going to be P8 for him. A little bit of contact between the two, but they're all pointing in the right direction after all is said and done.
Yeah, double overtake. 2 places lost for back row as Richie does another one on Maka right now before turn 6 on this chicane before the second roundabout on Scars. Domi and Eric are super close. Actually, Eric going super slow in the second roundabout is Scars on the outside line. I think they touched between the ART driver and the high-tech as Domi still 1 foot ahead of the high-tech driver as Richie still closing that gap. I think the 3 of them will have DRS. This is a massive strain as Blowtail will overtake his teammate down to the hairpin, and it will be easy for him.
Yeah, Blowtail as well in the background overtaking Maka, and you could just see the Campos racing car just seems to be the slowest out of these guys, but everyone behind him battling with each other. It's costing the position. They're actually 3 wide for what will be P4. Oh. There's Scars tapping the rear of Eric. He almost spins himself around, catches it very impressively, but it's going to drop him to behind Blowtail. VSC, and that is...
Oh, and there's contact between Richie and Domi. Richie trying to overtake now on BSC. Super close on the back of Eric. Why? They are so close. They don't need to. And I think it's damage for Richie. Yeah, it is. And, well, he'll stay, of course.
Squid's crashed onto VSC.
Yeah, he lost it on turn 14.
And Wavy's just sent it into him as well. That is not what you want to see. And he's got a 5-second collision, 5-second penalty for a severe collision with a retired car. That is not what you want to be getting. A completely unavoidable penalty. It's a VSC on lap 9. We have 2 laps after this one. And you can see Shenjay right now in a world of his own. And even Kulmanik, his penalty right now wouldn't affect his finishing place. And he can still pick up a P2 here with this huge strain and huge battles going on down for the other points finishing, Alex.
Yeah, I think he had the 5-second penalty. Probably it can be removed. It was a collision with Richie on the safety car, and the same guy, Richie, is trying to go for a move, but Domi as well on Eric. It's a 3 wide down to turn 6. Domi out braking a little bit. Eric still holding, and there's a tap on the rear wheels, and Domi will be sent it off the track. He will lose like 4 spots, and it's Richie overtaking with Blotto as well. Clean
on the
by
campus as well, Eric.
Oh.
He's around back row. Was looking for a way past Domi, I think. He didn't just get it because of that Campos spinning on the inside, but better safe than sorry. And well, this race has been chaotic to say the very least. Blowtail absolutely blasting past Richie. DRS, you can just see how powerful it is coming down. But Richie late on the brakes, going to defend the inside line. Blowtail around the outside. Richie going a little bit deep, covering that wide line. Can Blowtail find it? Slightly older soft tyres. Richie does have a little bit of damage. You can see he's missing that left end plate here up the inside of 13. Blowtail finds the position. Can he hold on through the final sector? Oh, and he's going to spin.
Oh, Richie just spun him. He put it the nose on the inside. I think the Spaniard works just clear on turn 16, and Richie still was I think he understeer on the side pod of the Spaniard on the rear tire, and now he's losing a lot of places because that Scars gaining again that 3rd spot he lost 2 laps ago. Domi as well recovering another place and will be back row the next guy overtaking Richie.
Yeah, and now it looks like Moen on Becario. He's going to have a nice run. DRS out of the final corner. Get that move done. Well and truly done before turn 1. Becario a little later on the brakes at the BWT race lab, but not going to threaten Moen, who is still penalty free. And I do believe he started this race in pole, so it hasn't been the best endeavour from Moen, who is now down in P10. But he could still fight for some points here if the guys ahead still continue to have issues battling one another. Back row now, dancing over the rear of Richie. Maka on the back of him as well. Maka penalty free. He could pick up a couple places here from back row and Richie, even without overtaking them here in the last 2 laps.
Yeah, as we see in exchange, is Both Prema Racing battling Blottel with damage after that collision in Sector 3 last lap with Domi. Maka just being mugged by Blottel and Psycho. Psycho probably trying to go for a double overtake on both Prema Racing cars. I think he will do it before the hairpin.
Well, Maka's got a lot of speed. Oh, but there's contact. There's got 3 wide, and that's just not gone well for them. There was not enough space. Maka, I think, Psycho just drifting over, as you can see them all just trying to navigate their way. It's like a game of Rush Hour as they all work out who can go where. And that is just so unfortunate. They're just all just misjudging the width of their car. Richie clips the wall, stops back row from coming past. He's struggling with a lot of damage on that car. And, well, Shenjay, it's pretty much confirmed now, will be winning this race unless he absolutely bins it, as back row does find the position around the high-tech car. And
yeah, Scars and Domi were battling on the hairpin this lap. I think Domi was trying to go on the outside. He didn't find the traction needed to do the overtake, as Eric drops one more position this time with his teammate. I think it was a 4-door sedan overtaking him. So yeah, Domi and Scars still super close for this podium position, as well as Psycho and Little Bro after that contact on the hairpin.
Yeah, and we're looking at the penalty situation as well, as Blotel gets overtaken by Psycho. And Kulmanek, 5 seconds, so he needs to keep that 0.2 gap to Scars behind him, as Blotel struggling with, well, both the sporting damage, Blotel sporting more than Psycho. DRS, though, is going to give the Spaniard a look up the inside, and he will get the position on Psycho down into turn 6 for Kulmanek with 5 seconds. And now Scars will finish ahead of him if it was to finish right now. Back row 5 seconds. Richie 13. He could be dropped like a stone, and I think he will be, and won't score any points here. Picario 3 seconds, and Dark 5 seconds as well. But yeah,
Domi super close on the outside of the hairpin. I think both overcooked that hairpin, and Scars will be losing a lot of traction. Domi will take the place for free. It will be Domi up into 3rd place. Scars losing there on the high tech. Still a good comeback from P17, I think, Domi.
Yeah, Domi needs to stay now within 5 seconds of Kulmanek. He can pick up P2 here as well. So it's going to be close, although he's just seemed to have found a lot of pace in his car. And Kulmanek, I don't know what's wrong. Maybe it's just the age of the tires. Shenjay picks up P1. A dominant performance from him. We barely had anything to say about him.
Richie crashed on turn 17. I think it was a massive understeer. He had damage as well, and now Kulmanek crosses the line. Domi will take 2nd place. I think fastest lap probably as well. Yeah, for the ART driver. Scars collecting 4th place, only 1/10 shy of the podium. That's bad luck for the high-tech driver. Back row going to 5th place. Mo and Becario crossing the line almost together, I think, and Psycho as well. So I think Becario dropped 2 places, and Moen and Psycho overtook him.
Yeah, Becario definitely ahead of them. Moen and Psycho getting it on penalties. Blotel 9th. Naka in 10th. Dark in 11th. The 2 Campos Racing cars are going to finish 12th and 13th. You can see Eric here rounding the penultimate corner. His teammate just behind him there in 4-door sedan. They get round the final corner. A little tap from the wall, but it's Eric at P12. 4-door sedan in 13th. Then Welsh Toast right now. He's in the final sector as well. He's coming up to the last corner. I think he's actually out of fuel, Alex. The warning light's on, and he's going particularly slowly, but he weaves across the line, celebrating finishing the race, I think. And Venom with a lot of damage to that front wing. He is just limping the car home in P15.
Yeah, just picking the pieces here after the race. Venom not having the best race he would possibly have. But yeah, 15th place for the Dams driver. And Chenzi is just dominating this grid, as back row had the driver of the day award from him on this sprint race, Unicorn.
Yeah, there he is, Shenjay. A very, very nice performance from the American there, taking a very well-deserved win. Just super, super strong from start to finish there in the sprint race. And, well, Domi picking up P2, redeeming himself from the first race a little bit, but still not able to pick up the win. And Kulmanek, it could have been P2 for him, but that 5-second penalty just dropping him down to behind. He's lucky to be on the podium, though. It was only a 10th between him and Scars. You can see the high-tech car there. 1.2 seconds, I think it was, between him and Kulmanek, and he was 16th on the grid. Back row as well, a huge amount of positions gained from him. 19th to 5th, no wonder he got driver of the day. Moen from 1st to 6th, very disappointed. He had to pit twice in that race, and, well, he's done well to bring it home in the points. Psycho picks up 7th. Becario rounds out the finishers, or the points finishers, I should say. Blotel in 9th, his teammate Maka behind him in 10th. Then we have Dark, Eric, four-door sedan, Welsh Toast, Venom, Ace Ritchie, and then Wavy, Squid, and Matt not finishing, and Ace Ritchie as well crashing on that last lap. Let's have a look at the results of the weekend. Now, Domi picks up the win. 18 points from round 1, 12 points from round 2, and the 4 points for fastest lap as well. So he picks up 34 points overall. Lil Blotel, 25 points for winning that first race. Shenjay, 3rd place. The winning the sprint race, obviously a little bit less valuable, and 8 points aren't enough to see him ahead of the Spaniard. Kulmanek picks up 4 points, being fairly consistent over the weekend. Welsh Toast comes home in 5th, just ahead of Eric. Scars with 4 points for qualifying pole and 8 points for the sprint race, picks up P7. Maka in 8th, Moen in 9th, back row in 10th. Then we have four-door sedan and Psycho on 2 points apiece, and then Dark, Becario both scoring 1 point. Everyone else, unfortunately, not scoring a point. So, a very wild weekend of F2 racing, and, well, I think it's been a wild week overall, Alex. Vietnam has provided some real action and a lot of just drama.
Yeah, definitely. Super tight between these drivers, overtakes there and almost every corner, even on the S section, as well as drama, crashes on the safety car, spins. So for Domi on the future race, and yeah, very bad luck from some drivers and very good luck for others.
Yeah, well, a very interesting 2 races, and obviously the short qualifying at the start, or the one-shot qualifying, as it were. But thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Alex, of course, for joining me in the commentary booth. It's been Formula 2 Vietnam, the last Vietnamese races of the week before we move on to China on Tuesday, the Tier 3, where yourself, Alex, and Striff will be in the commentary booth to kick off the Chinese Grand Prix action for everyone in the F1 divisions of MRL. And big thank you to our partners as well. Next Level Racing, they've got some amazing sim racing stuff for whatever entry level or experienced, regardless of where you are on the calendar. So be sure to check them out, and check out our YouTube channel as well for highlights and full race replays of all of the events that we have here. But that's all from us. We'll hit you with the outro, and then we'll be going and saying hi to another member of the F1 League Racing community. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one.